Good morning, St. Philip's family. Happy Thursday to you as we continue our series of devotionals on some of the great hymns of the church. This week we're looking at one of the hymns that is often sung on Good Shepherd Sunday. Good Shepherd Sunday is part of the season of Easter, and it has acquired that name because the gospel lesson is taken from the 10th chapter of St. John, where he talks about Jesus' identity as the Good Shepherd. Let me read you just a little bit from John chapter 10. Jesus said again to them, "Truly, truly, I say to you, I am the door of the sheep. All who came before me are thieves and robbers, but the sheep did not listen to them. I am the door. If anyone enters by me, he will be saved and will go in and out and find pasture. The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I have come that they may have life and have it abundantly. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep." And of course, at Easter, we celebrate the fact that Jesus did lay down his life on Good Friday and then took it up again in the glorious resurrection. And in this great hymn that we're going to talk about today, "The King of Love, My Shepherd Is," we hear a mixture of Psalm 23 with the great good news of Jesus himself being our shepherd. One of the things you may know if you've spent much time around sheep is they are not the smartest animals in the world, and they are absolutely helpless without a shepherd, and in fact will die without one. And having a good shepherd is essential to them. This hymn, "The King of Love, My Shepherd Is," was written by Sir Henry Baker, who was one of the great hymn writers of the 19th century. He had a very interesting life. He was born into a prominent family in London, the son of an admiral, but very early on in his life developed a deep devotion to Jesus Christ, graduated from Trinity College, Cambridge, and was ordained to the priesthood at the age of 23. And spent most of his life in a rural church in Monkland in Herefordshire, where he was the vicar. But his great love, besides ministering to his people, was writing hymns, and he wrote many, many hymns, dozens of them in fact. But he's perhaps best known for being the original editor and one of the people who thought of the idea of putting together hymns, ancient and modern, the great hymnal of the Church of England, which has now sold over 200 million copies. Sir Henry Baker was the editor of that great work and did much of the hymn writing and the hymn arranging for it. There are two tunes that we know for this hymn, "The King of Love, My Shepherd Is," and the one that we'll talk about today is St. Columba, an ancient Irish tune named for that great Irish saint that was reworked first by Charles Villiers Stanford and then by Ralph Vaughan Williams for its inclusion in the hymnal. The words to this hymn go like this: "The King of Love, my shepherd is, whose goodness faileth never. I nothing lack if I am his, and he is mine forever. Where streams of living water flow, my ransomed soul he leadeth, and where the verdant pastures grow, with food celestial feedeth. Perverse and foolish oft I strayed, but yet in love he sought me, and on his shoulder gently laid, and home rejoicing brought me. In death's dark vale I fear no ill, with thee, dear Lord, beside me, thy rod and staff my comfort still, thy cross before to guide me. Thou spreadst a table in my sight, thy unction grace bestoweth, and what pure transport of delight from thy pure chalice floweth. And so through all the length of days thy goodness faileth never. Good Shepherd, may I sing thy praise within thy house forever." It is a beautiful hymn that talks about Jesus as our Good Shepherd, tenderly caring for us. I love the way that he's phrased the end of that first stanza. I nothing lack if I am his. When we belong to the Lord Jesus, everything important is ours in him. And then the whole idea of the streams of living water, just like in John 4 and the woman and the well. Jesus brings us that living water, that abundant life. And all too often we fall for the schemes of the enemy. But as John tells us, Jesus spoke in chapter 10 about that and said that the thief is the one who comes to steal and kill and destroy. Jesus is the one who wants to bring life. And that is a great reminder to us in these times that are so unsettling. As is the next stanza, in death's dark vale I fear no ill. With thee, dear Lord, beside me, thy rod and staff my comfort still, thy cross before to guide me. Jesus is our comfort. And the great good news in this hymn and in the gospel and in Psalm 23 is that when we stray, he comes after us. Listen to the words of this verse, which describes all of us. Perverse and foolish oft I strayed, but yet in love he sought me, and on his shoulders gently laid, and home rejoicing brought me. My friends, that is a great promise to cling to, that when we stray, when we are perverse and foolish, the Lord himself, our good shepherd, will seek to find us. And in a fitting and beautiful tribute to Sir Henry Baker, when he died, the last words that he spoke were those words that he had penned for this hymn in that verse. Perverse and foolish oft I strayed, and yet in love he sought me, and on his shoulder gently laid, and home rejoicing brought me. I pray that this hymn will be a source of joy and comfort to you. There's a link that has the hymn being sung by a great English choir and the words of the hymn actually in the video. So I commend that to you. God bless you, and I will see you again next Thursday. Thank you.